Thunder here. We have a squeaky door and we're going to try and fix it. Let's see if we can figure out exactly where it's squeaking and fix that specific spot. I think it is here and here, but we're going to test that. So, where is that squeak really coming from? Now, I can go inside the door and try and find it by looking at the light outside. I've tried shaving this door down several times, but it's not getting much better. So let's look at it this way. I can see there's no light, and then there's light there. There's light all the way to the bottom of the door. And the light gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until it touches right about there, which is about 5 inches from the top of the door. So let me pull that out a little bit. I'm just going to tap my finger back in. Now there's no light there. So there's no light there and no light about there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to mark the door. So we think that there's no light about there and there. And that is my phone ringing in my pocket. Alright, I'm going to take a dab of latex paint. Right there. Now, I want to put a lot of paint on there because I want it wet. It's a pretty bright color. Smear it in here. You can probably use baby powder or something to effect, but I'm going to sand all this out of here. So I don't think it's here. I think it's in here. And we're going to maybe down there a little bit lower. And a little more down there. Alright. So make it nice and even. Okay, let's open and shut the door. Make sure you have a rag, clean off your finger. Alright, look at that. There, maybe a little bit there. 1, 2, 3 spots, maybe, right? Because it scraped there. It actually scraped there, 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 and a little bit there. 4 spots. So, let's see if we can fix this. Come back with a pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now let's kind of wipe off the paint here. So I can clean that with some soap later, but I want to make sure I get the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 2, 4. 4 spots, roughly. Okay? Don't want to lose them. Make sure you mark them. Safety glasses. Let's just make sure that we're Smoothing out the high spots. See, most of the paint's gone. There's just some paint right there. I can probably get that with a wet rag, but wow, that's squeaking a lot less. That is a lot better. All right. All right. Oops. One of the latches by accident. Ooh, look at that. That is, that's sticking down near the latch now, but you know what? That's a lot better. There's a little bit of a rub right there. I think I can fix that. Okay, from the inside, you know, there's a steady beam of light going all the way to the top, so I think we're good. We can see now that the latch is scraping a little bit, brass to brass. But the rest of the door has light all the way up to the top. So now that's the new spot that's scraping. Maybe we can fix that. That feels funny. Now let's try it. Oops. Gotta fix the door kicker. Okay, it's still touching. Still a little rough, but it is a little better. Let me see what else I can do here. I built this latch a long time ago, and it's a little low here and a little high here. I probably should remove this piece, probably from here to here, because this piece sticks out the most. But to be honest, by the time it gets to this point, you know, it seems to be free. So the part that's really hitting is in here. Okay. What are we going to do with that? try it now. Give it a whirl. Ooh! Wow, I could do that all day. Woo! That has a little bit of a touch to it, so maybe if it's partially latched, the wind will catch it. I'd like it to have a little bit of friction. I don't want it to be completely friction-free, because if this is partially latched because of where it is, this house is like an L corner. You can see here. The wind will come in here and there'll be a pressure zone, and it'll just blow this door right open and slam it. It's also happened that the door has been blown shut and slammed. So I'd much rather this friction point be like a shock absorber for the door. So if it slams, it catches the latch before slamming. That actually feels really great. I think I'm going to make this a video. This is awesome. I did a great job with this door. Let's check the light now. See, there's a steady crack of light going all the way to the top, all the way down, except for the latch, which is brass. So the latch is touching there and scraping just a tiny bit right there. Can you see where the latch is touching, even with the knob turned? Steady light all the way to the top. Shut the door. Now we have to sand down the latch a little bit, or bang it in with a hammer or something. Welcome to the World's Dirtiest Workshop. Somebody on Facebook on the DIY forum asked, how do you drill around corners? The answer is a drill bit, a piece of hose, and another drill bit. And all you need is a little Gorilla Tape. So that's just duct tape, a very powerful duct tape. And you can drill around a corner. You might have to hold the hose steady with your hand. I will show that in a demo video. But that allows you to drill a hole around a corner. I'm going to put this on the World's Dirtiest Workshop. This is a great little video. Once you're done with everything, take about a 120 grit and just run it up and down to make this nice and smooth. This is my door alarm sensor. I knocked that off by accident. They're cheap. They fall off, and you might have to glue it back on. Oh well, it's a piece of plastic. It's a piece of junk. But it does control my door alarm. If you're smart, you have a door alarm on every door in your house that is entry or exit. And you might want to tie that into something like an online camera. I have multiple systems in my house. I'm not going to tell you how many, but there are more than 2. So good security can require more than 2 systems. And it's a lot more than 2. So take your time, do it right, finish it up nice, repaint it if you have to. I might have to repaint this line here, so I'll repaint this this spot here sometime later. But this is all under a roof there. See that? So the rain never really gets to it. You see, this door was painted, and the water doesn't really get to it. It's been great. It's an old door, works fine. Now, I might want to go up here and just clean up the edge a little bit where you sanded. Give it a little bit of a curve. so that somebody doesn't catch the edge here with, you know, something like a stick or a hat or whatever. And then you're probably going to want to repaint this too, but I'm not gonna. This is my garage. So let's look at that light gap there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to run the camera back and forth so you can see the light gap. The light gap now goes all the way to the top. And I'm just going to move the camera back and forth to show you the light gap. And the only friction point here is the latch. Because remember, we have windstorms here, and I just want the latch to have some friction when that shuts. Now, why do I have two latches like this on this door? You know, why do I do this? And the reason is because we have 50-mile-an-hour winds. There's a certain time of season when the winds just kick up here, and that latch is not enough. This door will blow through that latch and fly open. So we have these two latches here to lock this door, and then we don't use this door during that time of the year. But this door is used every day because we don't go out through our front door. We go out through our back door, and that's where we get to the cars. The front door is also protected by security. It's protected by a door alarm, all that stuff. So yeah, got all that going too. Don't just protect the doors you use, protect the doors you don't use. Once you're done with everything, take about a 120 grit and just run it up and down to make this nice and smooth. This is my door alarm sensor. I knocked that off by accident. They're cheap. They fall off, and you know, you might have to glue it back on. Oh well, it's a piece of plastic. It's a piece of junk. But it does control my door alarm. If you're smart, you have a door alarm on every door in your house that is entry or exit. And you might want to tie that into something like an online camera. I have multiple systems in my house. I'm not going to tell you how many, but there are more than 2. So good security can require more than 2 systems. And it's a lot more than 2. So take your time. Do it right. Finish it up nice. Repaint it if you have to. You know, I might have to repaint this line here. So I'll repaint this this spot here sometime later. But this is all under, you know, a roof there. See that? So the rain never really gets to it. You see, this door was painted, and you know, the water doesn't really get to it. It's been great. It's an old door. Works fine. Now, I might want to go up here and just clean up the edge a little bit where you sanded. Give it a little bit of a curve so that somebody doesn't catch the edge here with, you know, something like a stick or a hat or whatever. And then you're probably going to want to repaint this too, but I'm not gonna. This is my garage. So let's look at that light gap there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to run the camera back and forth so you can see the light gap. The light gap now goes all the way to the top. And I'm just going to move the camera back and forth to show you the light gap. And the only friction point here is the latch. Because remember, we have windstorms here, and I just want the latch to have some friction when that shuts. Now, why do I have 2 latches like this on this door? You know, why do I do this?
And the reason is because we have 50-mile-an-hour winds. There's a certain time of season when the winds just kick up here, and that latch is not enough. This door will blow through that latch and fly open. So we have these two latches here to lock this door, and then we don't use this door during that time of the year. But this door is used every day because we don't go out through our front door. We go out through our back door, and that's where we get to the cars. But the front door is also, you know, security, you know. The front door is also protected by security. It's protected by a door alarm, all that stuff. So yeah, got all that going too. Don't just protect the doors you use, protect the doors you don't use. So how well does it shut now? So I pulled that shut with just a couple fingers. Turn the knob. Hold the knob with your fingers. You can see that's the best that door will do. Hear the latch? Click, click. And there, it's latched. So how well does it shut now? So I pulled that shut with just a couple fingers. Turn the knob. Hold the knob with your fingers. You can see that's the best that door will do. Hear the latch? Click, click. And there, it's latched. Always take your time when you're assessing a job. Turn the knob slowly and watch the door crack. Does it stay consistent as you push the door open? And it looks like it is pretty consistent. So fully closed. Now that's just the striker plate rubbing, fully open. Closed. Fully open, slow it down. That looks very good. Let's look inside. Now, the light at the bottom of the door is wider. Okay, so this door might need to have its hinges reset. But that's not bad, actually. I find that to be pretty acceptable for a door. I've seen way worse. Now, push the door in a little further. Say about halfway to close. Check it again. That looks pretty good. Now, all the way closed. Oh, okay, so we're going to go a little further out. Okay, so I'm going to try to line up the lens with that. So that's a little closer to being fully closed right there. Yeah. And we're going to try further. Doing pretty good. Now, this is just about up against the door jamb. Alright, so I'm trying to get the light to show. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. Nice job. That's latched. Now this door doesn't have a seal on it, so you know this door just breathes, and that's okay. You know, you want your garage to breathe a little bit. You don't want fuel and other things, you know, accumulating in the garage. You don't want to, you know, walk into your garage after being on vacation for 2 weeks and, you know, have the garage full of, say, propane or gasoline or anything like that. That gets pretty nasty. So yeah, that's really great. So that is latched. The bottom is touching. I realize that this door frame is twisted. The top has got a little bit of a gap in it, and that's pretty satisfactory, honestly. You know, I can't argue that that's really a problem. This house is a 1960s house. Everything about this house is twisted or bent or messed up. So for a messed up door, that's really darn good. The door looks great closed, but as you open the door looks unfinished in a certain spot that we just worked on. So how are we going to fix this? A very old can of interior-exterior Glidden premium paint. This is a PBG paint. It's a high gloss. That's going to give me the best water resistance. It is a door that's under an eaves. This is an old can that probably won't open much anymore, so we're going to try and use this. Sorry about my face. I cut myself shaving. Here's an old cup of that paint, and I'm going to take a metal can opener. So we're going to try and drag that metal can opener across that paint. That paint's not going to move. That's almost like glue. So this is the stuff we're going to use. Before you open the paint, give it a spin. Now, do you need a wood stir for every can of paint you have? No. I mean, this can is 2/3 empty. Just shake it. Spin it around a couple times. Swirl it. Shake it. I've even got this can half open, and I'm not worried about spilling all over me. All right. Let's try and get this can open. Don't use a screwdriver for older cans. You will just mess them up even worse, and you'll never get that can closed again. Use a paint can opener. You'll do much better. Okay, so I was able to pop it open, and you can see that lid is in terrible shape. You can scrape that with a knife before you put that back on, and you'll probably be a lot better off. But the top of that can is all but destroyed. Use the lid as a paint source. You don't have to pour what's left of that can into a little bucket or whatever. You'll just waste paint. Leave it in the can, work from the lid. $1 wooden brush. I'm going to load up my brush quite a bit and then spread it out. Use the paint as a means to determine if the wood has any rough spots. So I'm looking for those rough spots, and if I can, I will fill them in with paint. upper corner there has a little bit of a rough spot in it. I'm not going to worry about that. The door jamb appears to be clean and free of any problems. Doesn't seem to be too many, bits of brush in here. Now remember, it's about 105 degrees out right now, or so, maybe a little bit less. Okay, see, these cheap brushes have these little danglies. Pull them free. Sometimes they don't want to go. So now that you got it free, throw it in the yard. Alright, we're back, and the brush is free of any danglies. When you're doing this, you don't have to do a perfect job every time. Just decide how good you want to do it, and then try to meet that goal. In this case, it's an exterior door. I'm going to be dragging things through the door, wood, metal, whatever. It's going to hit the door. It's going to scar it up, mess it up, it's going to scratch it, whatever. So, am I going to make this perfect? No, it's a utility door. I'm just going to do the best I can, get it over with, shut it, and go to bed. Now, I'm going to be able to apply more than one coat because it's so hot out here. It's the Texas heat. That's just what it is. The paint's going to go on a little lighter than the paint around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fade it in. That's a wasp's nest there, that mud spot. And I can see up here that it's a little dark up there. Maybe I'm going to try and touch that up a little bit. And that is correct up there because the whole building settled and broke the door frame. Just do the best you think you can and be done with it. So this is all uneven down here. It's a utility door. I'm going to be whacking this area with stuff. Doors, chairs, all kinds of things. That is looking pretty good for now. I think I'm going to finish that up, put the lid back on the can, call it quits, take a nap. That looks absolutely marvelous, and you don't want to keep doing this until the paint breaks. So when the paint starts getting rough and textured, don't paint. Stop. Because the paint is curing. It's drying. And you don't want the paint to break and tear and, leave a funky texture, that looks like torn skin. You don't want that. You want it to look nice. So know when to stop. Put the lid back on and finish. If you want to rescue an old can of paint so that the lid you put on can come back off again one more time and then go back on again one more time, take a scraper, run it around the rim, clean that up so it's bare metal or rust. You don't want to have a skin there if you can avoid it. I'm just going to let that go. That's not that bad. But don't leave a giant bead of paint in here because when you shut that lid, you're going to glue it shut. Okay, so this is an old chisel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the can, and you have to be really careful not to drive the chisel into your thumb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the chisel away from my fingers. And I'm just going to try and tear off. Remember, don't go into your finger. Try and tear off some of that paint that's a little sticky and get that lid down to bare metal if I can, or at least the anti-rust coating on it. Okay? So that's not so good. That's kind of okay. So I'm going to work on this a little bit more. Took a big gob of it off of there. Okay, got that gob off. Okay, I can shut this now and I'll be able to open up that can one more time and shut it one more time. So, there she is. Okay. Now, if you think you're going to beat that lid shut on this wooden table, you got another thing coming. Set the can down on concrete. Don't use a metal mallet, for God's sake. Use a wood one or a plastic one. Because you're going to hit that can until the wall of it caves in. You don't want that. I've caved in a lot of cans in my day. I think that's not going to shut. This side has deformed a little bit. I think the only thing holding this lid on is the paint itself. Yeah, that just doesn't want to go now. Okay, so how are we going to fix that? Well, I have a solution for that too. So, you want to be able to open up this can one more time, and you don't want the paint to dry out that's in the can. Take a little painter's tape. Run the painter's tape around the can. Okay, all the way around. Fold over the tape. Now, you don't want to cover the label, because then you won't be able to tell what kind of paint you have, unless it's all over the sides. Just work the tape all the way around the lid. Remember, you don't have all day to do this kind of stuff, but you do want to get it right so that you can save that can of paint. See how I covered that? Look at that. All right, I have just preserved this can of paint. See, I can turn on this side. It's not going to drip, right? Now what I can do, just to be 100% sure, to run the tape around like that. All right, see that? That's sealed back up again. So that old can that just went too far and now won't close, hey, I've just closed it. All right. Okay, putting it back where it belongs. How do you know when it's time to peel the tape off? Well, you really don't. That just comes with experience. So what I do is I test the paint on the tape. And if that feels a little firm, I just start pulling and hope for the best. All right, that is awesome. I love it. Great job. I just love it. That is awesome. All right, let's pull the door shut and try it. The door is pretty shut now. All right, open it back up. Got any scrape marks? No, no scrape marks. Hey, I did an awesome job with that. Yay! It is the next day, and I'm just checking the paint, and it's a pretty good job. All the way down to the bottom where I finished. Now, I don't care that this is all old and beat up. I mean, this is where my wife's going to be dragging groceries through and everything, so hey, you know, if I make it perfect, it's just going to get destroyed tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But there's one more thing I want to show you. On this part of the door here, the door shuts and hits this pretty hard. It actually hits down here first. And you're going to see that I've got, you know, little pieces of tape down here. And you know, sometimes I'll use a little Gorilla Tape. Sometimes I'll use a little painter's tape. And that keeps the door from hitting so hard. So I'm going to apply some of that up here. And we're going to see how that works. We're going to do some anime style angles here. Really get some action going. Take your Gorilla Tape and tear it into small strips. You can always come back with a razor knife later and clean it up. Apply your strips of Gorilla Tape into the door jamb. I'm just doing 2 for now, just to give it a try, and then we'll slice off the excess with a razor blade. This is going to help the door feel a little better when it shuts, and so when it slams, it's not some, you know, giant bang, slam, vibrate kind of a thing, which can crack the door. So I'm going to put one down here, other one down here. Oh, I painted over that one. And then maybe one near the door latch so the door doesn't vibrate so much. Maybe 2, and then we'll try it out. Okay, let's try the door. You can see where the Gorilla Tape is sticking out. There, and not so much down there, but you can barely see it, but it's there, sticking out. The door still has a gap at the top. Not so much here. The door is very twisted. Yeah, the door doesn't slam so hard. You can see when I pull it, see how it vibrates at the top? So the Gorilla Tape's going to quiet that down. I can't untwist the house. I'd have to, you know, get a crowbar out and completely remove this door frame, which is an all-day job. And then I'd have to buy another door frame and make one. So I've been down that road. You know, I don't want to do that. We had a bathroom door that was very loud when it was pulled shut. We just added a little Gorilla Tape here, and the door is much quieter. This is what it looks like with all the tape in place and all the excess sliced off. I had to buy and make another door frame for this. Now you're going to say, oh, you just went to the home store and you bought a door, and then you just bolted it in. That's an easy job. Well, this one wasn't so easy. I replaced from this wall, this stucco, all the way out to here. And that's where the stucco ended. So I did more than just buy a door frame. I stuccoed the wall and then installed a vinyl door frame over top here. So that's a waterproof vinyl door frame with waterproof paint over top. That that will just never ever die. Isn't that awesome? So that's a really nice door, and that's an all-week event. That took a whole week to replace. So do I want to take a whole week to do that one? No, not at all. But I do want to show you something really funny. Okay, you may notice that the one door isn't at the same angle as the other door. Jupiter, don't go through there. The house is twisted considerably. It's like Alice in Wonderland. And I just have to go with that. So what? Can't fix it. Leave it twisted.